What's going on, family? Hope everyone's doing well. Wanted to come on real quick and have a little discussion about some of these prophecies and some of these things that we can see going on with the other nations, trying to, trying to act as if they're coming up with some of these prophecies. And we know damn well that it has nothing to do with them. But since they're not going to tell the truth, we'll take care of that for them. We'll take care of this truth for them real quick. We'll pick up where they leave off all the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get a chance to kind of see this beautiful view we got here going on right now. Let me switch this camera up here. Looks like my camera's got a little smudged up here. Over here hanging out in East Val today, right quick. Give the family a chance to kind of come in real quick. I was listening to a little bit of Paul and Adrian's live, and they're talking about the same old things, but what we're gonna expose though is they're talking about Dimitru Duduman. They're talking about his prophecies, right? So we're gonna talk a little bit about that because we're gonna see how slick these the Gentiles are. Okay, they're real slick with it. I said they're talking about America and Russia's going to destroy America and China's going to destroy America and how this was given to this dude, this European, Dimitru Duduman, and everything else. He was playing some of his breakdowns. And I'm like, bruh, that dude got that stuff from Second Esdras. I said, that's straight Second Esdras, but what you got to understand is this, okay? This is how smooth they are with it, okay? Hey, we already knew from Genesis 15:13 that the people who had us in slavery for 400 years, that country, okay, was going to have to pay, right? So we already know about that. So we go through our 14, we go through our 400 years of prophecy. We go ahead and go through all that, and then you start looking at the superpowers, and it's pretty easy to see who Most High is going to be using to take down that country. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to take a look at the Apocrypha, okay? Because that's where this is coming from, okay? But they got to be they got to be real slick with it, because remember, they're the ones that said that they didn't approve the Apocrypha, okay? But Second Esdras 15 is gonna let you pretty much know what's going down with the country that had us in slavery. But what they got to be slick with is the fact that right around that same page of Second Esdras 15 is the end of Second Esdras 14, and right there, right next to it, that destroys all of their that destroys their whole dogma of 66 books and 80 books. And see, they don't want people reading that. So if they don't want people reading that, then they got to come up with, hey, they can't have you reading Second Esdras 15, because that's just going to open up a whole lot of problems. Because people are going to read, if they read 15, they're probably going to read 14. As soon as they start reading 14, they start to realize, hold on, there's supposed to be other books. There's supposed to be some other books. Where are all these other books at? And then that exposes the church. So they don't want that. So instead of exposing and having people actually read these books, they say, oh, well, this European guy got these prophecies. And it's funny how they'll listen to some random dude who says he got downloaded with some prophecies. They'll listen to him, no problem, right? But as far as reading these books, that actually have the information there that was written by our people, thousands of years ago, we're not going to listen to that. We're going to scrutinize that information. But someone just saying that they got some prophecies, we're just going to accept that like no problem. You see what I'm saying? It just shows you, like I said, the hypocrisy of everything, So let's go there real quick. But you know, but the whole thing is this. Like I said, it's also about them trying to act as if they're coming up with stuff at the end, right? They got to try to act like they're coming up with stuff at the end. They're copying what they get from us, and they try to make it seem like it was something that was original with them. Same old thing that they've always been doing. Let's go there real quick. Let's go to the second Esdras right quick, so you can see how close it is. See right here. Here we go. There's second Esdras 15, right? And that starts breaking down what's going on. Okay. But see, right above that is second Esdras 14. So you start talking about second Esdras, 15. You start breaking down, what's going on. Then people can start. They might start reading second Esdras 14. They start reading second Esdras 14. Then all of a sudden, that destroys all their whole doctrine about 66 books only. The church only approving 66 books, or the church only approving, the 80 books or whatever, and that there's no other books and everything else. Well, this right here lets you know that there's going to be certain books that are going to be handed out to the whole world, right? So that's right there. And that goes right against their whole doctrine of all their churches. That goes against the doctrines of all the churches. It doesn't matter if it's Catholic, Christian, whatever. So as soon as you start to see, so that's why they can't let you start reading second Esdras 15. Because you start reading some of second Esdras 15, then real quick you start to realize, oh, hold on, well, what does this say? Oh, well, this is interesting. Well, and you start asking your pastor and your priest some questions, and they can't answer it. They'll be like, well, why can't we read other books? This says there's going to be other books. And that's going to throw everything off. So that's why they said, nah. Instead of letting them read the books, let's just say that this European dude just got these prophecies given to him. And, people won't ask any questions anyways. And we'll just go from there. You see how quick that these guys are like, they will listen to, he got this prophecy. This guy was just given this prophecy. This European guy, and it was about Russia, destroying America, and and you're like, well, you guys don't question any of that? Just this dude just come up with all that stuff all on his own? See, they knew. See, it's not that difficult, man. I said, we already know if you've listened to what is it, the Testament of Solomon. You actually see how the demons actually told Solomon what was going to happen in the future. The demons actually told Solomon how, what was going to happen after he died, how the demons were going to be released again, and how they were going to be able to do this, and that, because they knew what was going to happen, and they told Solomon what was going to happen in the future. So yeah, you're going to have some of these spirits coming and telling these people these things. I said, but to sit here and act as if second Esdras wouldn't tell you the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Second Esdras told you the exact same thing. Second Esdras let you know that, and then not only does second Esdras let you know what's going to be happening in these places, but they tell you why. Exactly. Why aren't they, Queen Mommy, exactly. Why aren't they asking questions of these people? Why aren't they saying, hey, show me this, show me that, prove this to me? Nah, see, they don't want to do that. I said, because like I showed you right there, on the same page as second Esdras 15 is second Esdras 14, the end of it. And that would open up a whole can of worms that they do not want to get into. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get into that at all. But we understand through second Esdras 15 that it's like, even with Paul, it's like, why don't you talk about why these things are happening to America? Why these things are happening to Europe? Why all these bad things are starting to happen? Excuse me. If we go to 2nd Esdras 15, we'll just start to read around 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Their hurtful works are fulfilled. Remember, we went through our 400 years, and once those 400 years, those hurtful works that were going, worldwide are fulfilled, it's time for payback. Excuse me. 7. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. I was talking about our people. Our people have been going through all this death and destruction. Their souls are under the altar, complaining daily, wanting recompense, wanting payback. Okay? So that's what's going on right now. But see, these guys, these preppers, and these guys talk about everything else, but they don't talk about why all these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? I said they're not talking about any of that. They're not talking about well, they're going to say the only innocent blood they're talking about are the babies, of course, right? But we know that's not the case. That's not the only innocent blood that Most High is referring to. Okay? So 9, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with a plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Okay? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall regard their kings nor princes, okay? And the course of their actions shall stand, and their power. Excuse me. Okay? So, even here, you can see how this is what was going on originally. These were the prophecies originally, talking about right here in the Apocrypha. They don't want to give credit to the fact that these things were already talked about in the Apocrypha. They don't want people looking in the Apocrypha. They don't want them looking at 2nd Esdras 15, because like I said, that's going to probably lead them right to 2nd Esdras 14. Most people don't just read one little verse or whatever, or else they'll start reading around there. They start reading around there, and they start to realize that, oh, I've been lied to. There's a whole lot more books. There's a whole lot more information, and they don't want that. You see that? Right here is, and then they can try to take credit. I said they're always trying to take credit, make it seem as if these prophecies are something that they came up with, or they figured out, or that the Holy Spirit would download this kind of stuff to them, and we know that that's not the case whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I said we know that's not the case. So what all they did was they came up with some dude, Dimitru, Duduman. All of a sudden, the Holy Spirit just came down and started giving him all this information. Well, that's funny. I said because it matches up really, really close. It matches up really, really well with 2nd Esdras 15. But like I said, they don't want you to figure out. Like I said, if people start looking at 2nd Esdras 15, they're gonna look at 14. They said they're gonna start looking there, and all of a sudden they start looking there, and that's, like I said, that's gonna cause more problems. So they come up with something else like that. Like this dude, this dude is, I said, come on now, bruh. I said, you guys are hilarious. You know, said y'all trying to make it seem like as if, or, and they trying to make it sound like just, America's just going to be annihilated. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just going to be absolutely annihilated. I'm like, your system is going to be annihilated. I said, but you read Joel 2, and it talks about the rejuvenation of the lands. Where's that? Okay, where's that in the prophecies that I keep talking about? And then what also was crazy was did you guys hear all of a sudden like, oh well, China's got like a window, like they got like a window up until like November to go in and take over. They got like a 3-month window or whatever else, and they're so I saw Israeli News Live talking about that. Oh, they got like a window of when they might go in and take over. I was like, a window? I said, you guys are hilarious. I was like, if I was gonna go take over someplace, I'm trying to take over when people are not prepared. But they're like, oh well, they can have a window, and maybe before this window, they're gonna do like a surprise Pearl Harbor attack. They need to do like a surprise. I'm like, well, what kind of a surprise is that? You just announced it to the whole world that you're gonna do some. You plan on doing some surprise Pearl Harbor attack. I said, so therefore your whole thought of surprise is out the window. You see what I'm saying? I just showed you, like I said, how hilarious these people are. You know what I'm saying? I like, so you guys said you need to do a surprise Pearl Harbor attack, but you just announced it to the media that you're looking to do some kind of a surprise Pearl Harbor attack. You see what I'm saying? I like these people, they run their mouth and they talk, 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 talk. I said, but when they really talk about being about it and whatever else, they always got some excuse. They always got some excuse. I did find it kind of intriguing that they're talking about doing this. They need this 3-month window when they're starting to talk about the Lions Gate opening up. To me, like I said, it sounds like they really don't want the smoke. They don't want to do anything because you know what? They know what all of this stuff means. You see what I'm saying? I said they got. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna. Oh, well, I need my window. I need to get prepared. Well, how much more preparing? You're taking over an island. I mean, how much preparation do you need? Exactly, that's so true. They believe everything with no research. Like, exactly. Don't even question that. I'm planning your surprise party. As I tell you, these people are hilarious. I mean, it's really funny. We need to do a surprise attack. I think what? I think we're gonna let them know we're gonna do a surprise attack in the next 2 months. You guys keep saying all this mess, but you guys don't do anything. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, the Most High every day it exposes you more and more. Exposes you more and more. They do. They're totally looking foolish. Danyata, exactly. I need a window. I need my window to get everything, all my ducks in a row. I was like, I thought you guys were have already surrounded the island. You're doing military drills. How much more do you guys need to practice? You didn't know that eventually you were going to try to take over the island. You didn't know, you didn't already have plans already set up. But no, I need to wait till like around November. That's what Israeli News Live was talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's hilarious. I said I never heard a group of people talk so much about this, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do a Pearl Harbor attack on you, I'm gonna do this, and nothing. I said they're not getting ready to fight each other. They're trying to get prepared to fight against the Most High, and we already know how that's gonna go. Now, like I said, no, when you understand the fact that these people do not come up with anything on their own. You know, I said that whole thing about you know, America being destroyed and Russia and China. Man, you know, I said that stuff is easy to figure out. You know, I said, but you know, but you can figure that kind of stuff out because you guys are manipulating events to try to fit, you know, fit all that. You know what I'm saying? I said, come on now. So now you need till November. You got everything just sitting right there. You got everything sitting right there next to the island, but you need till November now. That makes no sense. And y'all just always leaking stuff to the media. You know, and it was funny because they got everything figured out. Well, you know, they're gonna go attack, and you know, and they need to do this because you know they're gonna try to set up their one world government, and they got Project Bluebeam and Project Bluebeam, so they, you know, they can have a fake alien you know, attack, and this and that. And I'm just like, y'all got it all down, huh? Y'all got it. You probably read that from somewhere, from our stuff as well, and you guys are coming up with that as well. I was like, dude, I was like, if y'all gonna do it, man, why don't y'all just do it? What's the holdup? I would think that you guys have everything prepped, and you guys are all prepped and ready. Y'all got everything prepped. Y'all been prepping for years. You already knew all this stuff was gonna happen. You know, I said, but it's amazing how now many of the things that they keep talking about just don't come to fruition anymore. All of a sudden now everybody wants peace. Everybody wants peace and prosperity and everything else. Cassini's sister Cassandra. You know, I said, so like I said, when you understand, like I said, everything that they have, they got from us. Everything that they have, they got from us. I had talked about how like the cross. I said that was originally ours. You know, and then they took it and they bastardized it with their religion or whatever else. And I saw Brother Abdullah Seer did a good video, and he talked about the cross and actually talking about, you know, the signs, and actually going with the elements, the four elements, right? You know, and I was like, oh, that makes like a lot of sense. I knew that the cross was ours, but he made a great point about it actually representing the four elements, you know. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I said because all they do is they took everything that we had, and then they took it and they changed it up, and they act like it was something that they came up with originally. You know what I'm saying? Like just like they just did, you know, with the cross. You know, they're doing it right now even with prophecy. They don't want to give credit to Second Esdras because they said for them the Bible stops, you know, 2,000 years ago, and all these prophecies they're trying to force everything to fit, you know, these prophecies. But we know that there's other books that were written that actually talk about what's happening right now. And the thing is that they don't want to talk about, you know, us going into um, slavery to them, and that at the end of our slavery that they're going to have to pay. They don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, I mean, is it Brother Abdullah here did a really good video. He was talking about, I think the beginning of the Lionsgate starting around, I want to say Halloween, and that's a possibility too. You know, I said there's a whole lot of things that are going on right now. You know, I said there's a whole lot of things that we know that they're not going to make it easy for us to figure out. They're not going to make it easy for us to find the truth. I said that's just the way that they are. You know, I said so we understand that. You know, I said we understand that things are not going to be easy. Things are not going to always just, you know, be just nice and easy and in a nice easy little box. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, just it's about like, hey, being open to the Spirit and having the Spirit lead us and give us more knowledge and understanding. But like I said, this is why, you know, hey, we might not always agree, you know, as a family. I said, but we just got to be respectful, and whatever maybe Most High gives someone else something that we didn't have before, and we got to learn how to respect one another and work with each other in order to get more in-depth understanding. But like I said, I totally agree with that as far as you know, the cross. I talked about that before. Someone tried to come in and say some negative stuff about the cross and, you know, how it's pagan. And I'm like, man, I said, everything that they call pagan, they just throw a title on it in order to keep you off of it and keep you away from it. Knowing damn well they didn't come up with anything original. They haven't come up with absolutely anything original whatsoever. Let's see here. Something else I'm going to get into. I'm going to make a video on it, but it's a book right here, The Earth Chronicles Expedition from Zechariah Sitchin. This has a story in here that's absolutely amazing. What's crazy, it goes along with the same thing about how, you know, about the Gentiles stealing our information again. You know, it talks about the story of Joseph and you know, the 7 years of famine and well, 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this before, but later on, I want to say like in the 1970s, it was talking about Nasser, the one guy that they're always talking about how the Jews left here black and came back white. Well, it talks about him trying to make a dam for the Nile, because I guess every 7 years the Nile actually the Nile actually overflows. Okay, and they were trying to trap the water for this when the 7 years of plenty. So they were going to build a dam. Well, come to find out that actually there was two enormous lakes that were built, and they were actually man-made lakes that were built. And come to find out that they figured out that actually Joseph built these two enormous lakes. Okay, and so during the 7 years, it wasn't just food that Joseph was attempting to, you know, to save up for the 7 years of famine, but it was also water. Okay, and that was actually something that this book actually goes into. I can't read it right now because it says it's a lot of information, but I'm going to take pictures of it and let you guys actually see it yourself. But it was actually talking about how he had to build, like, you know, these waterways and waterworks, and in order for it to for those 7 years of plenty, for it to fill up these two huge lakes, so that when it's the 7 years of famine, there would be enough water for the people as well. And it's amazing how they left that whole thing out. But they've come to find out later on that Nasser was actually trying to do exactly the same thing by actually building a dam at that time. So again, Gentiles copying a lot of the same things that that the Hebrews were responsible for. It was just absolutely amazing to see, you know. And again, you know, the Most High gave Joseph understanding through his dreams, you know, and I guess like the people were trying to make his job more difficult, and they tried to make him build all of this whole complex in like 1,000 days. And actually he ended up actually building, you know, these waterworks and everything else within like 1,000 days. And they actually still have the names of like Joseph on it, and they have the names of like the 1,000 days that it took to build it. So all this stuff was actually still there, but you know, they try to hide all that information. They try to hide all that, you know. So, like I said, just our stories are, like I said, they're way deeper. It was this book right here, the Earth Chronicles Expedition. Like I said, I'm gonna make a video where I can take the pictures of it, and you guys can check it out on your own. But the fact that they were trying to build a dam, you know, in the 70s, you know, to actually take advantage of the 7 years, of a plenty, because that 7-year of cycle is still was still in effect even until now. Just shows you, like I said, how amazing the Most High is, and how the Most High had given us all this understanding, and how the Gentiles tried to mimic it later on. They tried to mimic that whole 7 years and take advantage of those 7 years and try to save that water from the time of plenty. Okay, and they actually figured out the name of the pharaoh, and they figured out actually this pharaoh actually was known for his waterworks projects and stuff like that. So all these things that actually prove the fact that Joseph was like a real person, and that the story and all the stuff that actually went along with it was true as well. Yeah, I guess I'll share it later on. You know what I'm saying? I'll share it later on. It was just too much. I'm not going to read it out here right now because I have to hold the phone and everything else. I'll just take a regular video where I just take the pictures and read some of it and let you guys see it so you can see it on your own. But like I said, it just shows you how our people were responsible for these kinds of things, these kinds of huge projects and stuff like that. They didn't really, it doesn't talk about that in the Bible. I didn't hear about them trying to save water for those 7 years. I remember about the food and the grain and everything else. Okay, but it did not say anything about the water, and then this book actually goes into it. So like I said, to make it seem like the exoteric understanding or exoteric information is all that there is just showing you that that's not the case. But they're trying to, but as always, they're trying to hide a lot of this information. They try to hide a lot of it, because they don't want you to realize that the Most High has been dealing with our people and has been giving us understanding, has been giving us, understanding way beyond the vast majority of the people, and they don't want people to understand that. Yeah, I totally didn't realize that either, but it was like, but yeah, this lake is like below sea level and everything else, and the people were trying to just, they were trying to, what was it? Sabotage Joseph when he was building it, and they wanted him to only build it in 1,000 days. And even still, even with the people around trying to sabotage him, he was still successful. He was still able to complete the waterworks project in less than 1,000 days. And they named like the place still has something to do with a 1,000-day project, or 1,000 days or something like that. Like I said, just there's a little teaser. I said we'll talk more about it later on. So like I said, we'll talk more about it later on. But like I said, I just wanted to show you, like I said, how they're always trying to take credit for things that they don't have, or they didn't have understanding about. Just like they did also with the second Esdras, and talking about America and its downfall, and Russia and China, when we know that some guy supposedly just got the download, but we can find it actually in second Esdras. And not only that, like I said, they also in second and Esdras is going to tell you also why these things are befalling the Americas and Europe and these other countries, because of what they did to the Most High's chosen people, which is something that all these people are always not talking about. They're never talking about the why these things are happening, why these things are coming out. Great seeing you, 12. Good seeing you here. Thank you for coming. Yeah, like I said, yeah, this Zechariah Zinchin book said is really good. He said just showing you that not everything is in the Bible. Not everything is in the exoteric understanding, the exoteric book. And of course, they're going to want to keep that kind of stuff secret. They don't want people to realize that the Most High gave us understanding about the how to deal with the water, the 7 years of plenty with the with the water. I said, they tell us about the grain, but they didn't tell us about how did he come up with all this extra water to feed the people to nourish the people for 7 years. That there's a 7-year cycle, even along the Nile. And we know how important the seven, number 7 is to the Most High. So like I said, if Joseph had to figure out a way to store water for 7 years, what else was he storing? What other projects were going on that we haven't heard of before? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's other things that we haven't been privy to. I mean, I didn't know that till today. Did anyone else know about the 7-year water cycle of actually having like extra water for 7 years in the Nile? And did anybody know that Joseph was actually working to save all this water? Let me know in the chat if anyone was aware of that before. I didn't know that. I had never heard of that before. But see, the church told us that we got the Bible, so we got everything, right? We got it. We got everything, right? Yeah, it blew me away today when I heard that. When I read that today, I was like, really? I was like, I'd never heard that before. I mean, I think that would be something that they would definitely want to push, because I mean, to make these huge man-made lakes, to to be able to do that, and then to be able to say that they did it in like 1,000 days. See, the Gentiles don't want to be they don't ever want to be exposed when they're trying to thwart the Israelites. They said they never want to be exposed when they're trying to thwart the will of the Most High. Yep, that was another thing I said, it was hidden from us. But see, they'll make us think that they came up with I came up with a really cool idea. I think we should build this dam, because we should try to save some of this water. When it's in the 7 years of plenty, we should try to save some of this water. I came up with that idea all on my own. Yeah, right. And come to find out, Joseph already did it. So Joseph already came up with that. So now you got the same thing going on, like I said, with these prophecies. They don't want to give credit to our people for these prophecies. Like second Esdras, just downloaded this information to them. So we know exactly why they did that. So that you ain't gonna you're not gonna be able to look at second Esdras 15, because they don't want you looking at second Esdras 14. They don't want you looking at these other books. They don't want you looking at second Esdras 6 and 9. They don't want you looking at second Esdras 6 and 54. They don't want you looking at all that stuff, because then all of a sudden their whole doctrine just falls. Yep, Mr. W, exactly. Just like the economy goes into trouble every 7 years. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I'm not gonna be here very long. I said just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I wanted to bring out that information about about Joseph. Like I said, we'll go into that a little bit more in depth. And I said, and the fact that you can see easily how they steal our information and then trying to repackage it and rebrand it and make it seem like it was theirs. Oh, we're gonna build this dam, take advantage of the 7 years of water, but not telling you the fact that Joseph already did that. Oh, we got these new prophecies concerning America and the downfall of America. But we already knew about the downfall of America, because they were the ones who took the Israelites into slavery. So we already know that the Most High uses the other nations, okay, to destroy the people who take us down. So like I said, it's very understandable when you understand, when you see how they try to use exoteric understanding, exoteric books to explain esoteric things. They think that all the answers are in their exoteric books, and they're not. You're not going to find any information about. Oh, there we go. Hopefully, we're back now. All right, good. Going back over to the car real quick. See if that helps. So, like I said, it's all making sense. You know what I'm saying? It's all making sense. Yep, yeah, we know about all the waterways, definitely. Here in the Americas as well. Hold on real quick, I don't want to connect to that. Okay. Yep, Alexander never had a library until he conquered the one in Egypt. They passed it off his heirs, exactly. Exactly. Great Wall of China, huh? Okay. Yeah, I found, like I said, it's amazing to see, all this understanding the Most High is bringing out, all this information Most High is bringing out. Like I said, Most High will, I'll make this video soon, about this water project, okay, that they found right here in the Zechariah Zinshin book. But like I said, it's just amazing to see because it just shows you that there's so much more information than what we've been given. I said if someone said it mentions the Great Wall of China, please put it in the chat if you want. But I said he's given us so much more information, so much more understanding. But the Gentiles are always trying to figure out some way to interject themselves. When you understand, like, so they're trying to always interject themselves, then you can see through their BS. They lie about absolutely everything. It's so very true. They lie about absolutely everything. But that's what they do. I mean, that's their MO. That's what they've been made to do. So when people are always trying to, when they're always trying to follow the ways of the Gentiles, and then they don't they don't question anything. As I'm sorry, but if the Gentiles are saying certain things and you're not questioning any of it, if they're telling you can only read these amount of books and you're not questioning it, uh, that's an issue. That's an issue with me, anyways. Okay, I said because they've lied about absolutely everything. They haven't told the truth about anything. They still won't even admit who we are as a people. We've all figured it out. How is it we've all figured out that we're not African Americans? How is it we figured out that we're not blacks? We're not colors of a crayon box? How is it that we can figure that out? But somehow these people with all this vast knowledge and all these books that they've been hiding and all this information, they can't figure it out. How is that possible? The closer to the truth would be they do know. They're just doing everything to keep you from realizing the truth. They got too many books and too much information, and they know what to hide. Exactly, we're older than Christianity. We are the original Christians. We are the original followers of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So, I mean, so you can't, when they say Christian, they're talking about themselves and their church. But we know that the original ones, the ones that are referred to in our scriptures, we're not referring to their churches. And that's why all of a sudden they've got to come up with these new prophecies. How many new prophecies are they going to come up with? And they're not going to question anything. All of a sudden, some European dude says he got downloaded with some information, and these other Europeans don't even question him. Don't question any of it. Oh, it's all coming true. It's all coming true. Yeah. Also, that 400-year prophecy came true too. That for us going through 400 years of curses is true too, because that had happened too. But y'all don't talk about that though. Y'all don't admit that you guys were instrumental in the downfall of the Most High's chosen people. You don't mention the fact that those prophecies came true too. That you received the blessings while we were going through the curses. You guys didn't talk. You guys don't talk about that. That's what I said. So that's why it's easy to see when you guys, when one of your own comes up with some prophecies and you don't even question it. But if so, a so-called black man, says that we're the real Israelites and we can prove it through the scriptures, everything else, and you just ignore everything that we say, then that shows that you have an agenda. And then you're going to start to say, "Oh, well, you're being racist. How are we being racist? Is that how are we being racist? We're not being racist." I said, "We're the ones. We're examining everything. We've already examined your religions because we've already been exposed to your religions for our whole lives. So we've already gone through your religions. We've gone through your schools. We've gone through your churches. We've gone through your pastors, and your priests. We've gone through all that. Okay, so we've turned over all those rocks, right? But then when the Most High awakens us and starts to give us new knowledge, understanding, all of a sudden all you churchgoers want nothing to do with the new information. So you're not really serious about turning over every rock. You're not really serious about looking, under every single, corner. You're not really about researching. You're not really about any of that. Okay? You're only about researching the things that you approve. But when the Most High comes to bring the truth, all that new information, you want nothing to do with. That new information, you want absolutely nothing to do with. So then that just exposes the fact that you're not about the truth. You're about a truth that that's convenient for you, but you're not interested in the truth. You're not interested in the truth. You're only interested in your truth. Yeah, always a knee jerk reaction when we start to talk. Always a knee jerk reaction when Mosai gives us something to talk about. All of a sudden, then they want. I mean, people be asking, then they want scripture. They want this. They want that. And I'm like, go get scripture from your priest. Go get scripture from your pastor. And that's usually the end of the conversation because they already know that their pastor and priest ain't giving them no scripture for anything. The church is definitely a gatekeeper. They've been keeping the gates the whole time, and that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. They do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So they can do that. They can go ahead and go do that. You know, I said I have no problem with them. Hey, if that's what if the Most High set them up to be gatekeepers and keep, you know, the ones the Most High doesn't want over there, like I said, be my guest. You know, I said, but for the ones that are here, we're gonna have conversations like this. We're gonna show you how, you know, they're stuck on exoteric understanding. They're stuck on, you know, on that understanding only. I said because then that makes it so much easier for us to see where the Most High is taking us. Yes, we understand that they've just taken our information. Like I said, when you see this information about Joseph and the water, I said your mind's gonna be blown, and it's gonna be like, how in the hell, you know, we think we know a lot, but how many of these stories have been hidden? How many of these stories have been hidden that, you know, that the things that Joseph did, or the things that Abraham has done, the things that, you know, our forefathers have done, have been way greater than anything that we could imagine, and all this information has just been hidden. And the church that's been responsible for hiding it, people still listen to them and allow them to dictate what it is that they read and don't read. I mean, it's not necessarily a church subject, but it is a great subject of just understanding more of the exoteric understanding. The fact that the Most High downloaded, you know, this exoteric information to Joseph, and that he used this exoteric understanding about the 7 year process, the 7 year cycle. You know, I'm sure having to do with the number seven and the spiritual perfection that it brings, and how that was also part of um, the dream that Joseph had, and the fact that, and the way that, I mean, he had to save the country, and the fact that, you know, that the other nations were trying to sabotage, you know, his waterworks, and how the Most High, I'm sure, you know, blessed him and helped him to be able to complete the waterworks in 1,000 days, and how there was a pharaoh that it was actually there that actually was well known for these waterworks, and that this has something that happened maybe, you know, 37, 3,800 years before Nasser tried to do the same thing. But the fact that they've worked so hard to hide all that information, because they don't want people to realize that they had been, you know, instrumental in trying to sabotage those waterworks. You know, that's just like a historical. This is historical information. We can't get that either. We can't even get historical information. That's not important either. But I'm gonna let you guys go, family. Like I said, I'll try to get to that video so you guys can get that information. You're gonna be, like I said, you're gonna have your mind blown when you see that. Because like I said, it's gonna be there's so many of us who are, hey, I mean, as a group, we are very well read. We're very well studied. We got the Holy Spirit dealing with us, and we got the angels and this Holy Spirit giving us understanding. And here's something that you would think that some of us would have maybe seen before, and it's something that just like bam, Most High hits us with something else that we were totally unaware of. Most High hits us with more information and things that we were never aware of in the first place. So, like I said, that's when someone tries to tell you, you don't need to read this, you don't need to read that, you know, you don't need to study anymore. We got everything that we need. And this, and that. Like, okay, Most High is going to, and Most High just downloading more information, more understanding, and he's gonna connect it with something else. I'm sure he's gonna connect it with something else. I'm sure that before now, and by the time I do this video, Most High is going to connect it with something else, because that's what he does. He makes all this information connect, and he starts to show you. He starts to expose, the enemy. He exposes, their lies. He exposes their corruption. He exposes the fact that they, are dealing with very little to no facts. Okay, and all they're trying to do is fear people into not listening to anything and not growing. So it's just a beautiful thing to watch how our Father works. But all praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.